Welcome.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Fuzzy Little Brutes, our little Wednesday night show. We figure out what we're doing with ourselves. How are we doing, friends?
We are.
Wait, are we playing tonight?
Yes.
Oh,
Again.
Shit. I didn't realize that.
It's okay, Raven. Nothing you do is important.
I thought we were just hanging out today.
No. If we were hanging out, we'd be playing Fall Guys, your favorite game.
I hate Fall Guys,
We know.
and I hate people who play it.
I know.
Is this?
I guess listen, you just want an excuse. So I think so.
Or Stardew Valley.
I got to bring up all of my stuff for this game that whole
What I'm
time.
getting is Raven hates every game that we want to play with her.
Raven's
Yes.
just a hater.
You didn't know that?
But before we
hate Stardew.
continue to drag Raven
on
through the
Raven.
mud, two things that we need to address. One, this is an adult stream. There'll be adult themes. There'll be the cussing and the hatred and the violence on occasion.
Mostly
and,
aimed at each other.
Mostly to each other. And the second thing is a little shout out to our friends at Tabletop Audio. Tabletop Audio is a wonderful little browser and app that allows you to listen to fantastic 10-minute long audios for any sort of fantasy setting or RPG that you want to play. Right now, we're listening to Goodhaven, which is delightful. I last time we used this, I think you guys said you enjoyed it. I don't know if you guys have listened to the playlist on your own times or not, but I use it every day. They also do have. It's not just for fantasy like the game we're playing tonight. They also have stuff for horror, for noir, for science fiction, all sorts of wonderful audios that just tickle the brain. We're not sponsored by them. They do ask, however, if you use it, that you give them a shout out. They have a non-obligatory Patreon and merch shop if you'd be curious in checking them out. Special thank you to Tabletop Audio for being the music to our ears. Any announcements or anything like that before we dive headfirst into this adventure? Down the rabbit hole, even?
Mal,
Yeah.
not Borderlands, but there's a Spider-Man Noir TV show coming out.
Later. Fucking later. Later.
Tune in on Sunday to Spawn for what we talk about. And also whatever Mono put in the chat, because
Noir. It was relevant.
No.
Brett does
No.
really good noir.
Kingdom Hearts
I do.
We've had screenshots for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Creamdom Hearts 4.
Why? Don't be doing that to Hearts.
Special
Don't
websites.
be doing that to Hearts.
Oh,
Anyway.
They asked for it.
Y'all are making my eye twitch.
so we have to deal with the snake, right?
Snake.
Last we
The
left.
snake. We're not dealing. They are our friend.
Deal with, I think.
The party
We're not
had decided to
dealing
leave
with
the main road, going
friends.
towards the wedding that is happening in a few days. Going towards some trees that look like they might have been attempted to be chopped down, but the equipment was left before the season changed. And within it, there was not only the giant skeleton, but also a giant creature which is very foreign to the Albion, a large serpent. It welcomed you into its house. You all chatted and had some tea. Some gifts were exchanged, and they are now offering to do a few bone readings for you. That's where we left off last time. And no one knows this creature's name because no one has asked. So, my friends,
They will ask.
you see that the snake is grabbing something and kind of using a part of her body, trying to shake up and prepare to do some sort of spell or ritual that's unfamiliar to any of you, because none of you are practicing witches or know anything about that. What would you like to do? The doorway is open behind you. There's no door to close. You can't imagine it'd be easy for her to open and close doors, but she has also shown surprising dexterity.
The most will I think continue the conversation that we were having before we were interrupted by the break, and we must come up with something to ask this creature. Now, I believe that what were the The stipulations, yes, that it must be an affirmative or negative, yes. It must be something we want answered, and that it must be worth our while to ask. Yes? These are the parameters within which we are working.
I guess that makes sense, yeah. But like, what if it's a little kooky, a little wooky, spooky, like untrustworthy?
I've got
we
it.
are dealing with
I
this.
know.
Yes.
We ask how to end capitalism.
Back to a serious conversation.
It does need to be an affirmative or a negative. Once again, that was parameter one.
No,
now-
that's pretty affirmative.
Why don't we just ask if we should end this funding? I know we're going for just food and shit, but these guys are not that great.
I mean, no
this
one's
is. I mean, this sounds like it's something that would serve our purposes for sure. I must caution that we are dealing with forces well beyond our ken, and
people well with the words hurt.
and this is also a being that we have met mere minutes ago, and that should be taken into consideration when our reading is given. I do not wish to meddle with forces well beyond the measure of mere people. So I would rather not ask the question, but I do believe that our spiky friend over there has a well.
Whether
Has
you
a
want
point.
to meddle in the things outside of your norm or not, they oftentimes find you anyway.
That was very wise. Can I ask?
Get old.
Can I ask over the table? Can we all introduce our names and like what species our characters are?
This
Because
is-
I'm not gonna lie, I think I know 2 people's names. Besides.
Absolutely. And
I
to
will-
kind of
it- go
segue
ahead.
into that, we are not playing Dungeons and Dragons 5e right now. We're playing Root,
Sorry,
which
Mr.
is a game about little anthropomorphic animals trying to survive being criminals in a world where it's constantly on the verge of war during war. It's a 2d6 style system, and let's go from the person who gave the idea. Bright, go ahead and describe your character and what the vibe is.
I must be friggin' having a stroke because I really said my Harriet's name is character and
Know that feeling.
my
Know that feeling entirely too well.
my character's name is Harriet, and she is a little fruit bat. She has just reached kind of like adulthood in bat ways. And currently her favorite food is syrup and like a sap, because that is the only fruit or thing akin to fruit that she can eat right now, because we are just getting out of winter, early spring, and she's so hopeful for strawberries by the time the wedding happens.
In 2 days.
Are you
And that's
sure your
fine.
character isn't named Keely?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand that reference.
Right, got it. Firefly.
But anyway,
It's all right.
no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm sorry. I'm also just like
You
said
can't take the
Keely.
sky from darkness. It's
Uncultured.
fine.
Kaylee
I'm
is the
uncultured.
character I think that you were referencing.
Blood.
Did I say it
please.
wrong?
I heard
I don't know
Keely.
who referenced it. I heard Keely too, but I think
I
Tony's
thought you
name is Kaylee.
I thought you were referencing one of the dwarves from The Hobbit, Feely and Keely.
No, she's talking about the mechanic from Firefly.
I
I
understand
said
that
it wrong.
now.
It is Kaylee. I
yeah.
said Keely.
You're good.
Yeah.
It just took me a hot second to figure out where you were going with that until you said Firefly. I went, oh.
Yeah.
So that's why there was no response over
As
here.
soon as you said fire, yeah, I was there with it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I
so I'll
understand.
take this moment to jump in here, which is good because I referred to our spiked friend because I could not remember Darkness's character's name. So this is perfectly applicable here. I am playing Demos, the flying squirrel, who is a Ronin from a far land. And he is here to provide guide and wisdom and to work with our people. And maybe a few other things that haven't yet been announced.
Mysterious old man vibes.
He is a bit older. I think there are a few gray hairs sprouted from his whiskers. He was in fact a flying squirrel, which is different from a gray squirrel.
A flying gray
But yes.
squirrel.
Potato, tomato.
Thank you, Brett.
Yeah,
Potato, tomato.
I don't remember who's next.
I guess I'll
hop into
go
it.
next because
Yeah.
was referenced.
Mhm.
I'm Elia, the hedgehog, Elia Hovel, and I kind of come from I hung around the river people for a long time, so lost my parents, and just kind of traveled and became a criminal with these idiots. Apparently, I'm an herbalist, and I am apparently one of the more sane people of this group, which is not normal for me.
No.
It's also not hard when like.
Join me.
Go ahead, Blood,
what?
explain.
You didn't
Yeah.
finish that sentence, my friend.
Continue.
Please.
We have an
Hey,
arsonist
Blood,
who
what's
blew up the bank. We have
name?
a fruit bag who was an arsonist's toady. It's fine.
He's good.
I'm playing Zephyr, who is a Karen Martin carrier. I get in, I get out, I wander places, I like adventure. Which is why Big Snake, not the most terrifying thing for me. I just think it's new stuff. Wow, new stuff. Hi, new stuff. Ta-da.
I also was the only one who didn't say what my class was. I'm playing the Vagrant, which is it wasn't me. It was me though. It actually was, but it wasn't me.
I'm actually a ranger.
I will say the only reason I referenced anyway, unimportant. Don't worry about it.
Last but not least, if you'd please, Raven.
Yeah, so my name's just Brett, and I'm going to be GMing for the night.
Wow.
I'm single. Rev, I am Raven. I am playing Cinderwing, the Black Kite Hog, Arsonist, Heretic.
In that order, too.
Y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she knows what she is.
Yar.
A ragtag group of vagabonds trying to make it their way from one season to another without getting murdered. And somehow you find yourself in a witch's home.
It's fine.
Us ragtagabonds. Now, I do agree that Ilya has, I think, the most clear mind in this. I would vote that we elect Ilya to speak for us.
Whoa. No.
Are you not?
We can
in
share that
favor?
responsibility. I don't need all of
I-
that on my shoulders.
I would not like any share of that responsibility.
I know that I'm
Like
Currently-
past the bone.
in
Ma'am?
trouble.
It has come to my attention that we haven't shared our names. I'm not asking for your name. I'm just asking for the knowledge of your name. I'm Ilya. If that helps.
To the
A large
snake.
snake, who is kind of focusing on whatever ritual they're preparing, kind of
This
turns
isn't
her
our
head.
question.
Her one eye glazes over. Both of them blink. and the end of her tail reaches down for you to shake it. Alice.
Very nice to meet you, Alice.
Do you believe that's her name?
I was more of just in my own head that we have Zephyr, Demos, Cinderwing, Ilya, and then
We've lost people. My name's Harriet. I feel like that's a
Harriet
pretty standard
Jones.
granny name.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and ask the straight up. So this one's for the bones. Should we stop this wedding?
Hearing that, the small smile she had when she offered her tail to shake, that quickly retracts, and you see her tail leave from inside the tree that she's a part of, and seems to dip in some sort of water or something before reaching in and putting it into a small vase or small jar. Tony, I need you to switch the song for me, please.
Okay. What would you
Into
like?
the spirit of the plains, as the tail that's covered in this white powder, it looks like, against their brown and black scales, touches the flame that is underneath this pot. And instead of that normal reddish orange hue we see with regular fire, turns into this dark purple.
Thanks.
She, her tail, as she pulls away from the flame, she wraps it around a few of these bones. It does not take a lot to see. These are most definitely bones of people similar to you. It's clear to see a leg bone from a bird folk. There's maybe a rib or two in there. These are not all from the same creature. She
Don't be
begins to
afraid.
chant something
She can collect
under
them.
her breath as she taps the collection of former pieces of living things together. She tosses them up into the air, and for a moment, as you guys are watching this strange spectacle, the light seeming to play tricks on your eyes, you see almost the bones seem to take shapes for a moment. But as you blink, they're on the ground. With the 5 bones, 2 of them are touching while the 3 are separated around. Stopping this wedding.
What is that? What does that mean? In characters.
It might be wise to stop this wedding, but there are consequences might unseen if you decide to do that.
Consequences unseen.
Her tail wraps around the bones again, and she begins to rub them together, trying to get some sort, removing any of the effects that the spirits or whatever she's communing with affect for that question and preparing for your next.
Should we ask if it'll help the little people like us, or
Does that count as a question?
I'm asking you guys?
I think
Follow up.
the little people like us is a. I do not. There is a metaphorical little and a physical little, and I think that there is an ambiguity there that could lead to a cut deep and an uncertainty more than we are inviting already.
I mean, we can call it. Just like citizens or like denizens is typically what we call ourselves. So instead of saying like the little folk, we say the denizens.
What about
This-
those
this-
that are not part of the larger factions?
Well, no, that's what we are. That's the denizens.
denizens.
What's this we shit? We're our own thing.
Cinderwing.
No, I'm saying like we're our own thing. We don't have to. We're not denizens. We're a gang.
But I do.
I
While
still
it,
have an ID though, a real ID.
while
Excuse me.
it is something that I agree. We are not part of the denizens. I am not even from this land. While we are not part of the denizens, we do benefit from the denizens' benefit itself. I think the denizens is a good question.
I think we're
believe
also reading like way too far into that though. I think because like denizens is just what we call people who aren't boars or badgers, just like because there are too many species of us to be like little folk, big folk, people's like denizens is like the general species neutral type thing.
yes.
I also think these questions are probably a lot more based on vibe rather than wording.
That too.
Maybe.
Oh,
I do not know
are
how to
we
ask
the
for
right
vibe.
ones?
Okay. I will ask Alice. Harriet will ask Alice. Are we the people to stop this wedding and help the denizens?
She begins to stir the bones in her tail once again, throws them up into the air. No imagery, no symbols. They all come down but land all on top of each other. Yes. Yes, I would say that you are.
That
Most
was
definitely.
a big pile that formed.
So guys, I don't know, like, so I don't have a family, but if any of you do, like, you want to like check on them or?
Lost man.
Don't care.
I'm kind of an enemy of the state.
What do you mean lost yours? Are they like in a field and you like put them down or like?
I mean, they never left the field after
Cinderwing
the
knows
forest.
what happened. Don't be a turd.
That's the green form.
I have a question I can ask if no one else would be comfortable asking. But I require you to follow it up with 0 questions.
Well, I mean, you would be asking the last one, so like,
We weren't told a
Unless
certain
it's about-
number.
yeah, we were. She said 3.
She said 3.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
It's alright. It's been a bit.
It's been a week.
I mean, you are not allowed to ask me any questions about it.
Oh,
Well, that's not suspicious.
do you want us to like plug our ears or something like that? Cause like we can like hop out for a second. I might not come back in though, cause this place scares me.
It was really hard for me to get in, so I'll just plug my
made me
ears.
You and like this whole show of faith. You have one of my Molotovs now. You can't trust me with this.
Well, I mean,
We're
they're
not going
trusting
to
us
ask
with-
you questions. Do you
Not
want
allowed
us to plug our
follow.
ears? Cinderwing's their own thing, so you can just kick them if they ask a question.
I am willing to ask the question in front of you. But I need to ask it in such a way it will not make any sense to you.
Curious. Alice brings her head down and is now level with yours, Demos.
And you can see there is, to those of you that know Demos, this is a moment of pure willpower working over fear and superstition. You could literally see like the muscles in his face clenched. what I carry, it is meant for a purpose greater than I. It is meant for redemption. Is this action on the path to redeeming those I hold dear?
She slowly lifts her head back up, but for a second she lets her tongue, giving you a sniff, and some of her tongue hits the top of your brow before it retracts, and she tosses the bones. As she's answering this question, there's no passive perception, but all of you are criminals and know what you're doing most of the time. She does grab 2 more bones for this question, making it a total of 7. And
7
as they go up, yeah. As the bones fly up and they land, there are 2, 4 of them are distinct, crossing over each other, and then the third one looks like a V. I would say so. But brace yourself. And as she takes up the bones, the flames are no longer that purple, but back to the regular color that you would expect.
You can see Demos is going to, for the first time in this process, I think anybody who could see Demos's face might realize that Demos did not blink. That, like, there was so much tensing that he would not allow his own eyelids to shut. That's how tense he was in that moment. And I think he shuts his eyes for a count of 10.
Cinder is going to lean into Demos and be like, "You were that concerned about whether or not you were worthy of my Molotov? You could have just asked me."
You are free to leave, my friends. And you see that the snake reaches down, and actually under part of the floor, there has been a rug on the ground. She lifts it up, and there is a latch to go down. They're guessing to the base of the tree.
Yes.
Cinder, never lose the passion that you hold. You are the spark that starts bonfires and that allows rejuvenation. But knowing when to unleash from the bottle will always be your greatest discernment.
Yeah, you told me that like 20 minutes ago.
It bears repeating. And Demos is going to walk out.
It's right there. I got it.
I'm gonna turn to Alice and be like, Alice, thank you so much for your hospitality and wisdom, and please stay safe. I hope to see you again. And head
That would
out.
be delightful, my dear. And little Ronan, best of luck with your travels.
And Demos will pause, and they are, by the way, as they leave like a token of gratitude. Whether it's I think they spend time working on things, and part of how they de-stress is by keeping everything sharp and then whittling with those little like blades and things like that. And so I think they set down a small whittled creature of some sort.
Sure.
As a token of appreciation before they leave. And so they pause. They're mid-placing that down as they pause.
One moment, I would just like to say, it is once again that time. Don't spam our chat with stupid shit. I'll insta-ban you.
Yup.
Yep.
Da 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 da.
Isn't it nice that I always give that warning after I ban people?
No.
So nice.
Good luck with your travels and this rendezvous that you apparently are going to be part of. As you guys go down the path, the latch is closed behind you, and you guys find yourself stepping out of one of the trees. You guys are walking for quite a bit. You guys all have dark vision. You're all in, like, that's something that all of you guys have, except for the bird, actually. Because rodent, bat, rodent. All of you except Cinderwing can see in the dark.
Hawks have excellent vision, thank you.
Not at night, but
Unless you're a Nighthawk, which
you're not.
Well,
Also,
That's
I'm pretty
awkward.
sure when your eyes is glazed over, you were electrocuted.
I mean, only a lot.
They've got like one lazy eye that's like watching this way.
One is fully whited out with like a Lichtenberg scar going across the face.
Yeah.
Okay, then that means
But-
that. Hold on, but hear me out. The funniest bit would be that like from the kind of like when you see bald eagles, like when they look at the side, they look all regal and shit, and then you look at them up front, they just look like fucking batshit crazy. And so like on one side, like someone's staring, and it's just like, whoa, she looks so cool. She's got a scar, and and then you look, and then you got like one lazy eye is like tracking this way.
There's
Be like, I see
Cinder has
everything, kid.
one like side that's like, that's a cool. The rest of it is, that's an insane person. We should cross the street.
Yeah, but what about Cinderwing, though, Raven? Anyway,
What?
yes.
Can we agree on a punishment for the no swearing thing?
Do it.
Is there no swearing?
We have a no swearing redeem. It's been used once and it was a failure.
I was
I
asking
refuse
because Bud
to
has
waste
the
my
points for it
friggin'
and is
points on it.
considering spending it.
It says reward is temporarily unavailable for
I think we might have disabled it until we have that conversation.
Yes. But as you guys are traveling, travel for a good 15 minutes. And the path you find is stepping out of one of the trees that makes up the canopy. About 15 feet to your left is that tree, are those lumberjack tools that you came across.
That weird thing we saw in the woods.
Can of peas.
You can still see the road from where you guys are currently. It's pretty far, but it looks like it's maybe an hour or two later than you and you guys were first in there. It doesn't feel like it had taken an hour or 2 hours to get everything done, but it's now past noon.
Yep,
What would you like to
continue
do?
on the road.
Yeah. I think it's all we can do, really.
This
I'd like to stay in this part of the woods. But although, wait,
Honestly,
said-
I want to get away from the creepy bone thing.
based off of what I just remembered, she said it might be best for us to go back to the main road. Those ones try to call you away in the middle of the night. And I see one of ours following.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Harriet will try and find a safe and and a thorough arc up to get back to the main road before dark.
It's not going to take very long. It took you a whole 20-minute walk to get over to where these trees were. It's not a difficult.
Well, yeah,
back
but that's
on the road.
from one side. Like, you can enter a forest and have it just ever expand into a cone of oh yeah, well I saw it this way, so if we go at an angle, and then you're just always parallel to the edge of the forest.
This is true.
You guys make it back to the road, no problem.
Thank you. Very
Um,
generous. Very
um,
generous.
We're
The,
still keeping,
no one-
Cinderwing away from the commerce.
Some people are a little perplexed as they see a group of 5 armed people coming out of the woods. But when they realize you're just joining them on the road, they don't seem too suspicious of you, but those that seem to have been the soldiers of any of the merchants or families do keep an eye on you, but they do not engage.
Respect.
The road is still very busy, and there's nothing of note truly for the rest of the day of travel unless anyone is interested in having conversation. But if not, we'll probably move on to the time you guys are getting to the wedding, unless you guys want to pull any shenanigans or tomfoolery. A lot of badgers
There's-
actually now compared to when you guys were first showing up. Like now, for every hare or bird you see, there's now about 3 or 4 badgers armed to the teeth.
If anything, I have a stick in my hand, and anytime Cinderwing brings up a Molotov cocktail, just like whip them on the hand like an old teacher.
Bop
Alright, guys, I get the point.
Then stop
I
taking
got
them out of
it.
your pocket.
Them away.
I was reaching for something else, and that's what came out.
Mm, mm, mm.
Bear in mind, it is a known fact that Cinderwing only has Molotov cocktails. There's nothing else in her pockets.
She said, maybe I'll surprise myself and have something useful.
Don't make her sound sad.
It wasn't meant to be sad. It was meant
We
to be
didn't
just like
make her
shock
sound
and just,
sad.
like,
You did.
Fuck you,
Would you
Tony.
guys, if there's no traveled conversation that would like to be had, there are campgrounds. The Swin are very efficient in clearing out forests, but trying to make it more ready for the nomadic lifestyles they prefer. Yes, they have large towns or settlements, but for the most part, the Swin are just people that enjoy exploration and travel. They don't really like to set route because where's the thrill in that?
He said the name. He said the name of the game.
Ooh, roll credits.
But a lot of people have made up camp, and you can easily spot over 100 different little fires of different people that have kind of all bundled up and kind of claimed their own little stakes to rest. Some people have set up little shops to try to sell their wares on the way there, and there are some people that are definitely chatting amongst themselves. A lot of the lesser, not nearly as tall folk, similar to you guys, are mostly out and about, while the badgers are keeping to themselves completely and making a perimeter. If there's nothing you guys would like to do, huh?
Standoffish pricks.
It's coming
Harriet's
from
just
you.
kind of flying as necessary to like look out ahead, and but otherwise kind of just like walking along. She might, since we're traveling during the day, she might like hop onto like Cinderwing's back or something and just like take a nap in her vest or something like that.
Perfect.
Next to the Molotovs.
Exactly. It's the warmest spot, you know.
Something's gotta live there.
Listen, Raven was the one that said Cinderwing is like your crazy mother, and I was just like, cool, automatically relatable.
It's like that mom who's like, all right, kids, go defeat the government.
The government.
You guys sleep. You are not robbed because you don't have anything to be robbed of.
I love the fact that it's you're robbed, but it's not really that you're robbed. It's like someone was there. You weren't fucking worth it.
It's like that story of the guy that like had like a barely furnished apartment, like was sleeping on towels, had like a freaking pool chair in the middle of the room, and that was kind of it. Like one piece of utensil for every different type. Guy comes in to rob his house, and it's just like, bro, you live like this? And then it's just like, here, I know some guys, and then just like furnishes his apartment with things that he's presumably stolen from other people's houses.
Well, you know.
Zypher, that extra bag you snagged, do you open up the night sack? Because that's the one thing you didn't open up the sleeping bag as you guys were traveling, because it's annoying to have to unravel someone's sleeping bag while you're, on the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, now that we're at a camp, I will make sure I'm not seen and figure out what the fuck this dude actually has.
I mean, you opened up a couple of things. It was kind of some cool loot. Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Well, we're all gonna die now.
Not all of us. Some of us are much harder
Some
than the
of us have
others.
self-preservation.
That's a 3.
Oh, that's why.
A 3! Okay. Da-da-da. Okay. Unraveling this night sack. As the final of it rolls, something's heavy in there. Opening it up, reaching in, you find a bottle. Pulling it out, it is unlabeled. It is not only corked, but there's also a wax seal around the cork, so it couldn't come undone unless someone deliberately took some fire, and unwaxed and bound it. And it's a decent-sized bottle. Easily could be replaceable with one of Cinderwing's Molotovs. Except it's not a liquor bottle.
Let's shoot me closer to the fire and see if I can get this magic wax melted.
Easy enough.
Can I see this?
Yeah, I mean, you guys set up a little campfire. Cinderwing is staring into it longingly, but
Okay. Can I take a close look at it to see if I recognize it as like a spell or something?
Looking at it immediately, it's an oil. It's the way that it moves around. It's far too. I almost said oily. That's not the right word. But yeah, I mean that is correct. It doesn't move with the same It doesn't move like an alcohol or a water or a juice. The viscosity of it is very much an oil.
She's thick.
Good.
Thicker than a Snicker.
Okay. What you got there?
Don't know yet. Pull back from the
I
fire.
think you should open it.
Give it a sniff snuff.
From a distance.
Okay. It is an oil.
Waif it. You gotta waif it. Yeah.
We blazed past Sniff Snuff, and I need us to pause for a second because Sniff Snuff deserves its flowers.
Hold on. That's the one that's sticking for you. Did you say waif it?
Yeah.
No.
Like, waif it.
Waft.
Waft.
There are people in my hometown that were taught wafed for some reason.
They're also from Kansas. They don't count as people.
There's
I was taught this
racism
in California. In my biotechnology class. It was
Your
whack.
professor was
It was
fucking
whack
with you.
and wafing.
It's neither of those.
It's waft.
Waft.
The English language is dumb and has lots of different pronunciations.
That's also true.
Don't police my language right now.
To be fair, I was making fun of Mal, not you.
Zypher, how much tell the chat, the class, a little bit about your family. How much time would you have spent with oils or like herbology or any of that stuff.
Herbolopoly.
Well, so my family
About an orchard's full.
a tree that makes money.
Yes. Yes, your family did have a small orchard of... Yes.
Yeah. So more than likely, with that kind of profession, herbology wouldn't be uncommon of a thing for me to have to learn, just so I can better maintain the trees.
You know what? To make this interesting, you're rolling a thing. I'm trying to look at the... Let's roll a trust fate. That's a luck check.
So that's a 2 and a 4 plus what's my luck? It's plus 1.
7.
Siete.
So this is going to cost you something because it was not a perfect success. It's going, if you want to figure out what it is, it's going to splash you on your nose,
This be that damn apple cider vinegar.
on your snoot.
Your
You
schnoz.
wafted and wafted and woofed too close to the sun, or in this case, too close to the oil.
Yeah, sure, fuck
You
it.
waffle.
I gotta.
Okay.
I got some
As you do this, Cinderwing, not understanding what you're trying to do, think you're trying to drink it, tips it, and you get some on your face. It does nothing. But it smells like poison ivy. Someone
Person?
had, for some reason, put oiled poison ivy.
How?
I mean, do you think Alice gave us an extra protection?
Oh, no,
Everyone, go ahead and roll just 2d6, because there's not really an intelligence style like check by any means. I would say that
It's cunning.
Ilya, you get a +1 onto this. Zypher, you also get a +1.
Also, Brett, it is Zephyr. Just
Zephyr, I'm sorry. And Demos, you as well, as someone who does work a little bit with oils and cooking and other things.
I work with flammable fluids.
It's not a flammable fluid.
And
listen, just because your future band name is Caustic Cum doesn't mean that that's applicable here.
+1. You're
I
adding a
forgot
+1.
about that.
+1, yeah.
No. Is it's intelligence, right? So cunning. Or...
No.
You know what? Yeah, go ahead and make it cunning. Add 1 to whatever your cunning roll is.
Are we all doing that?
Yes.
Everyone, yes. Everyone gets a
Okay.
cunning roll.
Hell to the yeah, y'all. Brett had originally said we weren't attributing it to anything, so
Unfortunately, I don't have a full character. No, you're fine. I don't have a full character sheet in front of me. I just have the attempt to the basic moves and the weapon moves. I need to pull up an actual like character sheet real quick. Give me a second.
Yo,
Damn sheet.
that's a nice 10 for me.
Oh, yeah. Good luck beating my roll.
Okay.
Just happy to not have a 4 this time.
A 12.
Yeah. I didn't
I
mean to
got
roll
a
well.
6.
I didn't mean to.
I got an 8.
No, this is all good. Everyone except for the arsonist, believe it or not,
Who's supposed to
Um,
fire?
realize that there's only one creature in this world, in all of Albion, that is affected by things like poison ivy and poison oak, and that's Swin. Whatever this otter that you stole from was going to do if they're headed towards the sweating, they had prepared basically a chemical weapon that they could splash on Swin and immobilize them with a rash and make them unbelievably itchy. This strategy was used during the war to mess with the strategy was used to mess with the Swin. Because really hard to stay focused in combat when you are covered in oil that will make you rash. And if you've never heard of it being put into oil like this, but how easy would it be to slip that into someone's food?
Like poisoning the wine at the goblin camp.
Poisoning the water supply.
Don't worry, the frogs were already gay.
Do you understand me?
I'll turn your fucking frogs gay.
Alright.
Weird. This was meant.
This is contraband. That's what we called it in the post. We called this contraband.
This is safety, if you ask me.
Why would you bring something like this, my friend?
I didn't know I had it.
You did not know that you were in possession of it.
Guys, what the fuck is this?
It's poison ivy oil.
It is
Oh, Joe, could I get some?
a way.
No.
It is an old way of sowing chaos in the ranks of others. And in a grand event, how much is there?
It's a full bottle, isn't it?
It's a whole. I mean, other than the bit that splashed on their nose, it's easily. It's about the size of like a wine bottle.
That would be.
That's enough to like mess a whole pot, like cover an entire like turkey with like.
That's what I thought.
That is enough to
We're
mess
talking
up someone's.
about 750 mils.
About.
Also, poison ivy
Mhm.
is technically colorless and odorless as an oil.
That's true for us,
To humans.
to humans.
Oh.
I
Well,
think
that means that
Now
you
we're on
can
the
say
same
whatever
wavelength.
it actually smells like.
that's true. I didn't give it an odor because it is odorless.
It smells herbalicious.
Make them boys go loco.
But to you guys, it does nothing. So it's just here. I mean, it's not pleasant to have oil on your face, obviously, but like,
Maybe if we put it on our hands,
I-
just like walk around, like shaking hands or slapping
you-
pigs.
You have not answered my question. Why do you have this, my friend?
Stole a backpack.
From whom? Perandamata.
I don't like that place, and y'all are making it harder and harder for me to go back.
Well,
I-
see, here's the thing. I just took it because someone left it behind while they were running from her fire. Once it's away. So, like, they don't know I took it. I was very good. I'm very good.
You're welcome.
Was that person, do we know, headed to the same place that we are?
I mean, the room
That's not what I asked. Do you believe that they were headed to the same place that we are?
I've almost called it poison oak oil.
I mean,
But-
related.
You have hit
Yeah.
upon. You have hit upon the same thing that I have. If you wanted to selectively sow chaos on one side of the aisle, this would be a near perfect way to do it. One side would blame the other, and it would sow discord.
That's pretty damn smart. Sneak in, sneak out. We don't stop it, they do.
And it would be a way to benefit from this if you were positioned correctly.
Remind me if I'm.
Eat.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Brett. The river residents are staunchly neutral. Just don't fuck with them, and they'll kind of just vibe.
Yes. And they usually all do wear a crest, or like on their shirt they have a stamp. This was a guy that was coming into town, saw all the commotion, panicked, and hid, dropping his stuff because he'd rather not get caught. Sort of thing. On his bag and on the stuff that they saw you have the bag. They just don't know where you got the bottle from. But there was no symbol of the river residents on this guy's stuff at all.
I mean, if you're gonna go in and try to do something like this, you're not gonna want who you're affiliated with to be associated with you if you get caught.
Also, not to be the downer in the situation, but this is definitely something the Badgers would do.
Well, I mean, the snake lady did apparently tell us that we should stop this wedding.
Her name was Alice.
Her name was Alice, yes, but she.
Her name is Alice. She's not dead.
She scared me. She scared me. I didn't like being in her little hidey hole. It freaked me out.
You know, she
Also,
could have gotten those bones anywhere.
Can we really say she's not? I don't think we know if she's dead or not. I don't think that's something you can just declare for us.
I know. Was she even alive? Was she actually real?
She seemed very much
So sit base
alive to me.
and stretch.
She was trying to avoid the Fae as much as we are.
We don't say that word around.
I know it summons them, but the boar's problems now.
If anything, say it when we get to the wedding, and then it'll be funny. Because then we can say that, and then we can just blame the Fae, and then it's out of our hands.
What's wrong with the gays?
No.
Is that
The
not
wing?
what you said?
No.
If you weren't on video, you'd be going to the sin box.
You know, I'm
If it
Did you
wasn't
say
for
a
the
different-
all of Blood's hard work.
Some of us haven't broken character, you asshats.
By the way, Tony,
Except
What?
you just, yeah.
could you change the music to Woodland Campsite, please?
Yes, will do. Except you knew that statement would make everyone break character, so you
Cinder was
did.
in character, having mistaken the word "fae" for the word "gay."
No.
Not even in character. We against the gays.
I wasn't saying it, that we weren't. Fuck you. You know what? I'm going home.
You are home, buddy.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Oh, I've got that song stuck in my head. But anyway,
I'm gonna beat up
What's
Tony.
on?
Uh-huh.
Well,
you and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals.
Do you know how long it's been since I've had that song stuck in my fucking head, Tony? I swear to God, I'm gonna put you in jail. I swear to
we all
God.
need to like take a hot second and hit break real quick because I also have to go. potty.
That's a wonderful
I
idea.
also need to potty.
Being
That's gonna be stuck in my head for a goddamn week. I'm so mad.
We'll be right back
Just listen to it like 5
in
times.
about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and we'll be getting the second day of travel where they'll continue this discussion, and we'll see how it goes. See y'all soon.
Hello.
launch.
Hello.
And welcome back.
Raven.
So, a vial of poisonous oil that can only affect one of the factions has been discovered after a robbery that one of our friends had found, and the party wasn't quite sure what to do with it, and decided to sleep on it and decide on the path going forward into the next day, as there's only one more day before, in theory, they'll be able to see the little cozy hamlet that is the capital of the Swin territory, it being, of course, the Truffle Valley.
There is a non-zero chance that this is something we could use. You all have realized that, right? I don't know why Demos has gone British, by the way.
Which is very out of character, seeing as we're British.
Yeah, we're Albion. It's different.
Something like that. This
Anyway.
place is full of rolling hills. Very long grass. It's not trimmed or trimmed or tidy like on the Badger side of things, where they try to make sure that they can see anything and anyone. The Swin don't care. They think that nature should be kept alone as long as they're allowed to run through it and not have to worry about giant snakes and trees. Surprising no one.
Yes. I think the really important question for all of us is that should we use it?
I was gonna say a thing.
If we are looking, are you what?
Oh, there was a notification that I just got in my Streamlabs, and somebody knows exactly what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Someone wasn't following.
Okay. Oh. Anyway, okay. Ambiguous, weirdly threatening thing aside,
anyway,
this is something that could be very well within our interest.
I was never thinking not using it.
I do not know if this is the faction we'd like to strike against, or if we'd like to strike against both.
I liked what you were saying last night.
You like
Kinda-
the idea of using this.
Yeah, you use it, but we remain silent, and then let them blame each other. Oh no, that might start another war, though.
It
would
absolutely
definitely start
could.
another war.
But it would also
As a
break
reminder-
up the wedding, which would probably
as a reminder,
start a war. Sorry.
the reading that Alice gave you said that it would be smart, it would be in your best interests to potentially stop the wedding from happening. To give any details as to how or as to why that might be. But in your best interests, it would be smart to gently push things into motion. But that's all I'm going to say into that, so that way there's no miscommunications.
Brett told us we have to do it this way, y'all.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
I
You
might-
gotta listen.
Um,
So, here's the thing. We know that we're supposed to stop the wedding. I still have 4 of these.
I think at that
Cinda.
point, me and Ilya both bonk her hands.
Let's
This
save
is still
those
with the
for
vet.
our escape.
I'll just go. No, and I'll just like reach around and like grab them out of her hands from like behind her vest.
Uh-oh.
As they're like being holstered for me. that game whenever you have your arms tucking your shirt and a friend's behind you being your arms.
But like these are like full on like wings. Like we both have wings, so it's like virtually impossible. You just see these leathery like fingers come out. Like the one dew claw that's like
Hate that. I hate that sentence.
Just a little.
What are you, Batty? Anyway.
the logic is
Call
right.
me Patty.
How many of us have seen Ferngully?
How many of us have echolalia?
Also that.
Hit me. 100%.
As you guys are traveling, are you trying to eavesdrop, or are you just keeping to yourselves on this very packed road?
I think that given who we are, I believe that Demos would absolutely be paying attention to what those around us are saying.
Yeah, Ilya would too, honestly.
Much like communists in like the 1910s and 20s, Cinder is constantly like trying to find new groups to teach about how great it is to fuck over capitalism. And so that like every now and then it's like you guys have to like wrangle Cinder back in, and she's like, and if you unionize and work together, they can't fight you because you're stronger as a group.
Go ahead and try to roll. Just roll me 3 persuade NPCs, Cinderwing.
I actually have a thing for this.
Okay.
Hear me. I can inspire a crowd.
All right. That just give me 3 as like this is as the day's going on. You've got 8 hours of walking.
What's that?
Well,
Yes. Okay. So the first one is a 7,
Okay.
and on a 7 to a 9, I get to do the cool thing.
Okay.
The second one is an 8,
Okay.
and the third one is also a 7.
Okay.
So that's 3 of those that I get to do.
And what's the cool thing?
Well, I have
Okay.
choices. They can tear down an opposing symbol. They can overthrow a vulnerable tyrant. They can destroy the trappings of tradition. They can elevate someone overlooked, or they deliver justice to the wicked. And
gonna
since
say
we're all
this-
going to the same wedding,
I'm going to say this. Because of the circumstance that your friends are pulling you away every time, they seem interested, but because of your friends' meddlings, it does not work to the effect that you're hoping it to do so. Your
No, but
arson is blocked by
I
your
am
friends.
definitely setting the seeds amongst the people going to this wedding.
Sure.
And it might be great if somebody overthrew this wedding.
Sure.
I think you're just making us suspects, just like off the bat. Like before we even get there, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, this one's kind of fucked."
Probably them.
yeah.
Demos, go ahead and roll me a figure someone out or a charm to see if you can what you're able to pick up while you're eavesdropping.
Absolutely. Okay, give me a second. Nope. Can't sing that.
No.
Fine. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So,
bu-
quick
bu-
question, benevolent GM. I have this
Yes.
thing called Traveler Extraordinaire.
Okay.
When you travel along the path to another clearing, you can always give +1 to a roll or clear to exhaustion, your choice. When you travel
Sure.
through the forest to another clearing, you can always give +1 to a roll or clear to depletion, your choice. In both cases, before you arrive at the next clearing, blah blah blah. Does that mean I give +1 to my own rolls, or can I throw that at other people?
Other people as well.
Cool.
I'd say so, yeah.
Nice.
And did you say cunning or charm?
It is charm.
Do you
Okay.
have to have-
I am going to try to actually make this a cunning roll, by using my well-mannered attribute.
Sure.
When you enter a social environment dependent on manners and etiquette, roll with cunning.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you say that fits? Okay.
100%.
On a 10 plus hold 3, on a 7 and 9 hold 2, lose all hold when you leave
Okay.
or when social rules fall apart.
Mhm.
So hell yeah. All right. So that is 10.
10. Okay.
So
Yeah.
so hold 3. So my options here are cover up a social faux pas on behalf of yourself or an ally and clear 1 exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Call out someone else's social faux pas, inflict 1 morale harm on them. Charm someone, take +1 ongoing to speak with them while you have hold, or demonstrate your value. Mark prestige with a powerful denizen's faction. On a miss, the rules of etiquette here are far.
I will let you use any of the things from the figure out someone instead, because that's what you're trying to do in the first place. And those are, what are they telling the truth? What are they really feeling? What do they intend to do? What do they wish to do? Or how can they persuade? How can I get the NPC to do blank? You're basically just being a charming little stranger out in the middle of the clearing.
Absolutely. So first thing is I want to know how they truly feel about this event. If it's something that they're excited about, if they think it's a farce, if they like, I want to know what the public perception of this marriage is.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go through all the different choices?
No.
Or shall we go back and forth?
I will say that you hold 3, you get 3, basically kind of similar to what Cinderring did. You get 3 perspectives. Talking to
okay.
Does that make sense? Does that work?
If we're getting 3 different perspectives, I may choose different questions.
Okay.
Okay. I think I think the question becomes, how do I get these characters to owe us a favor?
I mean, probably giving the not much you can do at this time. I would say it because of the circumstances of your party, and because you guys are on a main road. Unless you're like helping them do physical labor or whatever like that, like pushing their carts or grabbing a hold of one of the rugrats as they get a little too close to a badger, sort of thing. Like nothing really could help these people. None of these things at this moment will cause them to owe you a favor per se, unless you're really going out of your way to do so. But that will give you an exhaustion. If you decide to do that, if you're going to try to push...
I would take an exhaustion for that. Absolutely. That's a trade I'll make every day. Hell yeah.
I haven't really dabbled into that much because even after reading all the rules, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Exhaustion is confusing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's something that I see that I'm like, I would absolutely do that. Hell yeah.
And I didn't really specify this because you guys are traveling with the city, but know that if we play this again, there are consequences for how quickly you travel. Your exhaustion will be affected. Exhaustion will affect your guys' ability to be successful and do things. It's like in 5e, the more exhaustion you have, the more you struggle with your rolls. -1 exhaustion, you take away 1 from roll, 2 from exhaustion is... Hold on. I'm gonna keep looking this up. You guys, go ahead and ask your question, Tony.
Yeah. Everyone has a 4 exhaustion to spend. So I think -1 exhaustion is beyond that
Yeah.
level. So I don't think we have to worry about this for a while, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah.
But we can figure that out a
Mhm.
little bit more later. Yeah. So
Here we go.
what I want is I want a variety of folks. And I think Demos is going to. Demos likes to cook for the group, and I think there are multiple nights where they have more than they need.
Mhm.
And Demos is going to go out looking for folks who have less than what they need. And specifically provide for the people. There is much to be said for sharing a meal together, and the bonding that creates. And so that's one of the big things that Demos does. I think there's also a couple of different times that like kids are on the road and they're rambunctious, and one may try to run and accidentally like run in front of a cart, and Demos like snags them by the like scruff before they get there, right? Like,
Yeah.
some of these things.
And it's funny
so
because
yeah.
you're a squirrel and you're grabbing some of these rabbit children that are taller than you, but you're able to like guide them back to where they're supposed to go. But yeah, there
I,
definitely are a
remember.
definitely lower middle class like merchant families that are trying to sell their wares, whether that be novelty items, or even like this is an apple farmer, and they're just bringing a couple extra barrels of apples just to help them get ready for spring, so they can get a couple tools repaired. A lot of the lower class, lower people, truly don't. The vibes you're able to tell is that they're excited that something like this is happening in their lifetime, but if you ask if they believe what's going on, it's very much a mixed bag. They're like, it'd be great if we can like if this trade route does open up. That means that we get twice the potential customers, and we also have the opportunity to be able to purchase more land or things like that on the Swin side of things. But the more you get up to the higher middle class with some of the like rowdy kids, you also get a couple pieces of like bread and things like that as a thank you, as you're just kind of talking with them like during a lunch break as everyone's kind of stopping to get off their feet for a second. They're a little more skeptical. In fact, you hear a couple of the teenage kids that you are definitely seeing them corral. Some of them are placing bets to see which side will attack first, and so like there's a lot of people think that it would be a good idea for this to happen, but there are people that are prepared for it to go south and are trying to make money off it as well. Like most peace summits.
There's always somebody who's ready for the oncoming onslaught.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
One that wants to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense to me. So.
Oh, and I will say that from there is actually I didn't give you a third. I gave you 2 out of your 3. The third group of people you actually come across is people that you have heard about when working with the River Residents, but never had the chance to see. You recognize the slogan because a couple of your buddies have mentioned them in the past, and you've come across them once or twice, but you've never like really chatted with them. It was more of like, oh, and you point them towards like Cinderwing or Ilya. You see a couple, a covered wagon belonging to the Bramblefoots, which are a renowned vagabond gang. It's more of a guild, like as we kind of see in most fantasy settings. And they are just people for hire. They do war, they do espionage, they do transportation. And you knew that Cinderwing had a bit of dealings with them in the past. Ilya also traveled with them for a little bit. And I don't remember if Harriet or Zephyr. Zephyr?
Zephyr.
Zephyr. Zephyr.
My name is weird, baby.
Like the fear, but with a French accent.
Zephyr. Okay. Thank
There you
you.
go. You're welcome.
Zephyr might have had a little bit of dealings, but you definitely know that the arsonist and the herbalist has spent a little bit of time with them.
Interesting. Okay.
Was my time good or bad? I don't remember.
Fine. You were fine with them. It's very hard to upset the Bramblefoots unless you kill one of their own. You're allowed to leave on your own good terms. They're your cliche. They're the circus. They're your convent.
Okay.
They're your
We could utilize them.
But also seeing them here means that something's definitely a little more fishy, and it's not just because you see the person that's leading them is a beaver.
Do we see any
Mm.
otters that are traveling with them?
Oh yeah, at least 2. And the Bramblefoots, it's the slogan is a bramble, believe it or not, with a little paw kind of pressed into it.
Oh, their symbol, not their slogan.
Yeah, simple. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Semi-personal question, Brett. Are these the ones that you're
Yes.
that are in your book? Cool.
Wow. So if you
Yeah.
want to learn more, wait till Brett
Secrets.
gets
Yes.
published. All right, I think I just caused Bret heartburn with that statement.
Well, no, this is a book that is nowhere near ready. Like the other one that's completely done, that one's ready to go. This one, I'm still like rough drafting right now. It's actually one of my
It's really good,
books.
though. It's really good.
Leave it. But yeah,
I haven't written this in so long. Goodness.
And Brett's like, let me just like open this up real quick.
You do not recognize this leader because I don't think we ever discussed Demo spending time with any of the Bramblefoots.
no.
But you could probably get some of your buddies if you'd want to talk to them about it. Welcome back, Blood.
Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Seems that I have run into the Bramble. Don't go that direction with the accent, Tony.
It's almost Russian now.
The most was normally in this, I believe. There we
Yeah.
go. This is back to the original Demos. I believe we have
Proud of you.
encountered some people who may be of notice. Cinder, you are familiar with the Bramblefoot and their escapades? Yes,
Cinderfoot?
Cinderwing.
Cinderwing?
Yeah, that's,
Cinderfoot.
I mean, yeah, I am.
Brett just told me that I
Why would they
directed them
drop
to
it
you
there?
previously, so
So,
you better be ready.
yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Cinderwing. These were the guys that found you after the face went.
Yeah, I'm being fucky.
Yeah.
It's the only group that doesn't hate me outside of this group.
Well, it's because they're all chaotic, and all of them have their own beliefs, and each branch or cart, basically, that you come across is a little different, but they all hold this generally the same code.
Yeah.
Cult.
The cult.
You know, one thing I'm noticing.
We're here for the cult stuff.
Brett, with Brett and clowns or like circus themed people, they are all cults. In every single world that he's ever made, they are cult clowns.
I've been called out for using the term cult too much to describe the religions in my D&D campaigns. Because we're like, this is the cult of this, and this is the cult of that. And people are like, what?
Well, the thing, okay.
It's meant code, not cult. This is not a cult.
I will say that technically in a lot of Greek mythology, like the people who worship specific deities, they were cultists of those deities. So
Right.
like it's not necessarily inaccurate, but
I
like
know it's
there are
not.
well, like in ancient, but like modern, the definition has kind of changed though. Like between ancient and modern though.
You'd
Jim
be surprised
Jones
how language
ruined the
changes.
word.
Who?
Anyway, so we have the Code of the Bramblefoots. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about it? Are these some people we might tango with, as you might say?
These are good people. A lot of them are going to be like me. Although some of them might not be as like. Right
Some of them
there.
are more like me.
I can't see
Some of them are more than me.
This is, and how do we tell
That's almost-
the difference?
actually kind of scary.
Which ones do you
Got a
want?
look
to
in
know?
their eye.
I want to know the ones that are helpful, but not too helpful.
Got it. And Cinder's just gonna like walk away.
I think whenever
Towards
Cinder
the
gets an
Bramblefoot
idea, it's just
wagon,
gonna
or
be like
just another way?
torture.
Just like she kind of got like drawn into the conversation for a second and then just wanders off.
Okay.
Cinder is like one of those characters that is either going to be the savior of the party or the destruction of the party.
It's a weird how Bull and
Or both.
Cinderwing would get along so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ilya, your time with the Bramblefoots, they're fine. They're a little renegade, a little cutthroaty sometimes, but they won't kill each other over anything. They're very lively. They're rambunctious.
Jovial.
They're jovial. They don't live under either's rule, but they travel between either and be entertainment for them or do work for them. If they don't want to deal with the crazy, weird rules of the winged post or deal with the taxes and the money that the river residents go to, you go to the Bramblefoots because they go between either just fine.
Fun stuff.
They are a tax evasion.
We serve for tax evasion, and that's all.
Brett,
Yes.
do I actually recognize anything about the Bramblefoots that we pointed out? Like, do they have
This, like,
anything
this
indicating like
covered wagon?
affiliation or anything?
Go ahead and roll me. I really like using this roll, and I know I should stop.
Good more.
Go ahead and just looking through things one more time. Go ahead and roll me a cunning check.
I'm really good at that. 6.
6. They have the same symbol, but at this moment, you do not recognize any of these individual people specifically. But you're staying there for so long. There's a consequence for you just rolling a 6. You stand there for so long, you get hit by. You get bumped by one of the people that you're staring at, and they're like, "Can I help you?" It's a stoat. He's like, "You got a problem, man?"
You got a fucking problem?
You're
I'm
you're
here.
the way, man. Move.
You watch
This is
where
a road.
you're going.
Pushing a cart.
You know,
I'm walking here.
it seems right. I feel like I'm in the wrong here.
Thank you.
Is there anything I can do?
Get out of the way.
No, I feel like I've got to pay you back. It's,
Baby, get out of the way.
so you're just gonna crawl under the cart to get out of the way.
fucking weirdos on the road.
As I go under and pop up behind the carts,
Yeah.
is there anyone affiliated with this cart? Looking out the
So-
back?
The Bramblefoots?
I mean, anybody attached to this cart? Is anybody looking
Oh
out
yeah,
the back?
there's someone walking right behind it. It's that large ass beaver.
I'm going to unsubtly, as I like pop up, just kind of like look and see what's in it, and then continue on.
Go ahead and roll me a persuade a trick an NPC -1.
Okay, how do I do that? That's
It's a cunning roll.
cool. I'm still good at those.
Are we want to be associated
What was that?
with the crazy crow?
6
-1, 5.
5. Good.
So doing
Well. No. As you're trying to go away, you remember when Jar Jar Binks accidentally hits the guy with the lizard, Sebulba?
yeah.
The beaver gently puts a hand on one of your shoulders. By the way, what you saw inside the cart, from what you can see, it's a bunch of crates, all marked in their code language that you probably could remember if your mind could think of anything other than arson and ending capitalism.
And ending capitalism with arson.
Yeah. And what are you doing around here, young lady?
Oh, I helped the guy. Well, I hindered the guy, so I was going to help.
By going under my cart. This beaver is wearing it looks like it might once have been a robe, but he's cut it off into basically a tank top. Mind you, he's a beaver, so he's massive, and his walking stick has a boar skull on the top of it.
I am going
That's
to
not
pass
ominous.
him whatever equivalent is that we would have for like a group greeting of just being like, hey, just moving on.
Go ahead and roll me to roll persuade an NPC. That's a charm
Well,
check.
Yeah, there we go. And that's better. 8, 10.
10. Don't get yourself in.
Regardless of the number. There's consequences.
He lets go of your shoulder instead of gripping it with his weird beaver hands. They've got strange hands. If you've seen beaver hands, they're weird. He lets you go and pats you twice. Be careful during this ceremony, little one. You don't want to be caught on the wrong end of things.
And then I'm going to go back to Demos and be like, hey, I think these are our type.
Our type. Our type?
Yeah,
What does this mean?
the helpful. Well, the ones that are going to start shit in the way that we might start shit.
The ones that are going to start shit in the way that...
The helpful. No, that's not right.
Cinder is learning.
DM, would I have recognized any of these people?
Go ahead and
As
roll
well?
me a I almost said a sharp check because I'm so cunning check.
It's like almost the same thing.
It is basically it's the same thing. It's the same.
That's a 10.
10? You do. You 100% do. The beaver, specifically. His name is Mr. Chisel.
I hate it.
Chisel.
No, just Chisel. He's a bit of an older fella. He's been a part of the Bramblefoot since you were a kid, and by that time he was already a little gray. He's only gotten grayer, but he's still a huge-ass beaver. And even for a beaver, he's massive. Like, he's easily, 60, 70 pounds. Like, he chunky.
He chunky indeed.
Okay. Did I have interaction with him? Like, other than just
Yes.
recognizing?
This is his wagon. Think of kind of like the pirate guilds from Pirates of the Caribbean, where like everyone's a part of the pirate council, or they're all pirate lords, but there's no like pirate king. He'd be considered one of the pirate lords.
Okay.
I really was about to be like, do you mean One Piece? And then I remembered, nope, that happened in Pirates of the Caribbean too.
Okay, well, I shall approach him then. If the other two are done with their stuff. Sorry if I cut off. Brain's not here.
You're good.
You are all right, my friend.
You can relax, my friend.
He smiles very large, and he opens up his arms. Is that you, Ilya?
It's the chisel!
He, with the excitement of people that haven't seen each other in a good 6-7 years, he runs up and just picks you up and gives you a hug, not caring about your spikes on your back at all.
Had to hurt?
He, nothing I haven't dealt with before. What are you doing here?
A little hungry, so we're heading towards the wedding. What about you?
Oh, I got business and work here. You know how it is. But if you're hungry, and he reaches into a pocket and he pulls out a biscuit, and he just hands it to you. Here you go. It's a his size biscuit, so for you it's a whole ass loaf of bread.
Thank you. I take a piece and stab the rest to my back for everyone else.
I assume you're not traveling by yourself. You were with a couple of
yeah.
people, I think.
That weird one that was under your car. We got a couple more flitting about.
Well, any friends of yours are friends of mine. He whistles through his teeth. And you see that, other than the stoat, who is struggling to push this cart, you see, 2 mice. They look like they're twins. An otter. And a bat. All kind of come out from around as if they're not keeping an eye on the cart. Because there's a good chance these guys were pickpocketing people. And then, from inside the cart, you do see a head pop out of what looks to be a raven or a crow, who seems to be a little drunk.
Respectful.
I'll like call out to everyone, try to get them over.
The Bramblefoots kind of push their cart to the side, so that way that introductions can be had and you guys aren't.
Harriet will, who was before, the cart and all of that happening, was really close to Cinderwing. She was kind of just like watching in just like astonishment of just like, yep, I know her. And she'll kind of just waddle up. Yeah, P-Lane is just like, that's my mom.
You see Chisel reach into a pouch, and he grabs a water skin and wipes his hands. He kind of cleans himself up a little bit, trying to get some of the dust and dirt off of himself as he introduces himself to you. Welcome, my friends. I've already met you, and points to Cinderwing.
Sorry.
Oh. If I... What's going on underneath someone's cart? Between friends? Nothing was stolen. Right? Nothing was stolen?
As he says that, Cinder's like checking her pockets like, I'm not sure.
You're missing a Molotov.
Son of a bitch!
You don't want to know what's in that one's pocket.
Oh, right. Nothing was stolen, and he pulls out and hands you the Molotov.
So you'll already know that they like fire.
I can tell. Very crude but effective. I had that phase as well.
It's not a phase, Mom.
So we have Firecracker,
Yes.
Cinderwing.
Cinderwing.
We have our rock, Venus, over there.
Well, isn't he quite handsome?
I go for the trees.
Um,
Name's Zephyr.
Are you still in the trees?
No, I'm like in our group. I go.
Okay.
There are no trees right now. You guys are in a full ass clearing. Like, this is just plains.
Oh.
They were using that as an introduction.
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't even hear
okay.
them.
I missed that.
You're a little quiet, Blood.
Oh,
I-
sorry.
Just a
Got
little.
on chat.
Here, I'll
Not
fiddle
on
with you a little bit.
screen. 1 sec, let me figure out if I can get it higher volume.
Sophia.
You're good. We can turn you up on our end.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm
What?
forgetting.
Sorry.
Bright, I'm forgetting your character's name.
I
My friend is
read
Harriet.
them in the
I
chat. Yeah.
apologize.
And then that one right there is Harriet. And we've been traveling together for some time now.
A pleasure. We are the Bramblefoots. We are as fickle and as chaotic as a winter breeze, but as charming as a bouquet of fresh spring flowers. And they all bow in a similar fashion to this large-ass man.
But DM, is he hot?
He gives off the sort of energy and chutzpah as... What's that character's name from Indiana Jones?
I believe it's Indy.
No. He same actor played Gimli in the Lord of the Rings.
John
movie.
Rhys Davies, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I know the character you're talking about.
he's got that sort of larger than life because he is larger than life sort of energy.
I'd like to point out, I don't think John Rhys Davies was playing a character in Indiana Jones. I think he just wandered on set. I think he just wandered on set and started talking to Harrison Ford, and they're like, I guess he's in the
Roll
movie now?
They just said, roll it? Question
Are you
mark.
gonna tell him he can't? I'm not gonna tell him he can.
I still love the fact that they made that man a fucking dwarf. Oh. Big laugh.
Yeah, he's still alive, unless he passed away. I hope he didn't.
Everything's back.
He can't.
He can't. He's not allowed to die.
Well, no, because Gimli got to sail to the Undying Lands.
I mean,
He's
you're right.
literally not allowed to die.
Oh.
Gimli traveled with Legolas to the Undying Lands.
I'm
He's
sorry,
the only
he's
dwarf
81.
who've
He's
ever
not
been given
95. Still could probably kick my ass.
He is younger now than Christopher Lee was at the time that they were doing Lord of the
It's
Rings.
also true. But he very loud and very boisterous. He picks up his like I said, his walking stick that has several different jewels and jewelry. But the main centerpiece in the head of this probably club is a boar skull.
Are you gonna cover that for this
Oh, they know it.
ceremony?
No. The Swinner are surprisingly entertaining people. If you kill one of them and it's in a fair fight, then they have no objection to the trophies. That's how I lost my sister.
Right.
After she robbed from me, though, so she kind of had it coming. But I guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. What brings your whole troop here?
Oh, business. We were told to come here to bring some gifts and potentially get some new lines of work done in. Come in. Can't share too many secrets though to to those that no longer with us. Hopefully, no hard feelings.
No hard feelings at all. Did one of you happen to lose a pack in a town a little ways back that may had a vial of something?
He looks to the group, and the only otter, like none of them, they all. What town? We It was the Woodless Bridge, if memory serves.
As we're doing that, you would remember it. There was an exciting departure.
Yeah, the Woodless Bridge.
Yeah, there was an explosion as we were leaving. That should ring a bell if they were there.
No, we were at the Golden Warren beforehand.
Okay, so none of your troop? Just making sure?
Looks around again. None of them seem to acknowledge anything missing. Some of them do like the pat down to make sure they didn't lose anything.
Oh, it was a whole bag. You wouldn't notice.
No.
Okay, just had to check.
Something interesting? You find something interesting?
Depends on interesting.
That lighter flick sounded like a prop sound.
It did.
Like for this conversation specifically.
Something nifty? No.
That lighter sound is just the sound of Cinder's beak.
It's just a matter of
My mic keeps
the trip,
up.
I guess.
Mm.
Are we here for a celebration or are we the celebration?
Oh, anytime the Bramblefoots are in town, it's a celebration. You know that. Come on. Gently taps you on your shoulder.
Yeah, Cinderwing knows that all too well.
I like fireworks.
But we did bring some of those actually.
Oh, your fireworks are always the best. I remember that.
Oh. You're just saying that to make me spill secrets, and it will work, but keep it up. I'll see how much you can get out of me. Flattery will get you everywhere with me as long as you're not trying to skin me.
I don't think anyone could get that close to you with a knife.
He stretches, and his shoulder definitely pops. New injury, it seems like, as he kind of rolls it afterwards, seeming a little discomfort, but still that jovial, I've killed more people than you could have possibly imagined smile.
You toss an actual swine over your shoulder and run? I wouldn't put it past you, but...
No. I'm thinking of retiring. Not anytime soon, but I've thought about it.
I was about to say, you'd be dead before you even tried to retire.
Your friend's quiet, though, and he's looking to Demos.
He's calculated.
Mm,
He's probably the reason that we're all still alive right now.
really?
Yeah, Cinderwing kind of goes off the hook, and the other two are kind of like a little more snaky.
Oh, by the way, Harriet.
Yeah.
He reaches into his pocket and tosses you a fig.
Immediately just starts absolutely gorging herself on this fucking thing. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Fruit Bats eat fruit, but
It's
like,
so
it's
cute.
like she needs a private moment. Yeah. Or she,
With that, I'm actually going to remember the food on my back and hand it to Dino. It's just like, oh yeah.
Large ass piece of bread.
Cookie to- yeah.
Thank you. And
It's curious because I haven't seen that cut of cloth from this part of the world.
you still haven't.
You're fun. You're fun. I like you.
Demos, they literally are seeing it right now, and you're wearing it.
I have heard what they said, and I have said what I will say on that matter. But I do believe that there is something to be said for between the two of us, at least.
Do
Because
you
of-
know each other?
Absolutely, we do not. This is the first time I'm meeting.
I
Gentlemen.
remember a squirrel like that if I see one.
Now,
do I trust these two? Do I know to be suspicious of these two?
of the Bramblefoots.
Like these two's interactions specifically being like, oh yeah, I don't know him, and I'm like, because like Mallory's like, sounds like a fucking lie, and the way that they're sounding is like when you're trying to be so like covert that it sounds overt in a
To
way.
me, it kind of just sounds like they're having a pissing battle a little bit on who's like distrust.
Exactly, but the
Nope.
thing is, it's just like at that point, it's like you do know each other. Like you guys did have a secret rendezvous that you are talking about.
No. God damn it! I had a line I was gonna say, and I've forgotten it already.
Cinder's vibe through this whole thing is you can trust them. They're like my family. I wouldn't trust them. They're great.
This is how shall I put this? It is a quiet cellar that helps a fine wine to age. But a fine wine is not worth a cellar if it is alone.
Well, if you're curious, he kind of sniffs and kind of just lets the wind that kind of blows through this field kind of coat him, and he takes it in with some delight of just appreciating the freedom of this place. If you're looking for vintages similar to your caliber, last I heard of them, there was two heading to the Tusk Harbor.
Tusk Harbor, you say? A vintage such as ourselves?
As yourself, my dear.
Myself.
That's just rumors. But I've got an eye for cloth. I was a tailor at one point.
Could you maybe even trace it to the vineyard?
Not for free.
What do normal prices run?
Oh. Work.
No play?
Answers. Entertainment.
You know how I was saying the fireworks are good? The entertainment's usually bigger, more explosive, more dangerous. Just like under my breath, just to do notes.
Mm-hmm. He takes out a stick and begins to gnaw on it the same way like someone would pull out a cigarette and smoke it, but he's just chewing on it to kind of get the stimulation because he's a beaver and his teeth hurt.
Fun fact, they never stop growing.
Hence the gnawing.
Same with
That's
bunnies.
That's
His
true of
teeth
all
are
rodents.
long. Yeah.
That's part of what makes them rodents.
I do believe I could find you entertainment.
Meet me at that wedding if you're willing to get interesting. You'll find me.
I have no
This
doubt I
almost
will.
sounds like a sexual favor now.
It most definitely does.
This is not Thirsty Gang. Get your mind. Oh no, we're Disaster Cruise now.
Again.
Someone's getting fucked at the
I
wedding.
gotta get her.
Figure out the context of the fucking.
Zephyr, the stoat that was picking a fight with Cinderwing kind of walks up to you and kind of awkwardly waves. Awkward flirting tries to ensue as they seem interested in you. Quickly realizing it's not going to work, they take their head back and they jump into the cart next to the drunk crow, who looks very confused by now they have a buddy. I figure you don't want me awkwardly flirting with you. I can if you'd like, but
Not today. Thanks though.
fair enough. Anytime.
Brad, if you'd like to awkwardly flirt with me, you can.
No. The crow is drunk, unfortunately.
If you want to awkwardly flirt with me, don't. Wait until after stream.
Well, I was saying Brett. I didn't say anything
Works
about the
too well on you?
crow.
Wow.
Chisel looks to the sky real quick. If there's nothing else, we should probably get back on that road if we want to get there before the real crowds begin.
Agreed.
You're more than willing to walk with us if you'd like, but we're a little on the slower end because of the handcart, and Jareth, unfortunately, lost a bet, and now he has to push the cart. Which is bullshit, the stoat says, sticking his head out from the cart. Don't pick...
Absolutely torment this stoat on the entire way through.
Why would you try to...
Turning back.
Why would you try and win a drinking game against those two? Talking to the two twin mice who have been doing the knife like with on their hand game with each other's hands.
Oh, like the counting game?
Yeah, except they're doing it to each other's hands, not their own hand.
I love Bill Paxton.
Love Bill Paxton.
They're crazy.
It's
I
a
don't even
solid
drink.
reference.
It is. I don't even drink against those two. You lost. You have to do their work. A deal's a deal.
I think anyone willing to make a bet with those two deserves probably a finger or two to be gone.
Probably better that it's just the cart.
Yeah, but we'll stay with you for a bit, I think.
Wonderful.
Good chatting up old friends.
We love to see it.
I like teasing
Darla,
it.
Dina.
Points at stoat.
Darlatina, give us some tunes while we're on the road if you don't mind. The two mice stop what they're doing, put their little knife away, and one pulls out a flute and the other one pulls out a tambourine. And as you guys get back onto the road, they just begin to play a little tune as you guys are moving upward and forward, closer and closer to the Truffle Valley.
For what?
Upward and forward.
Any rumors?
Always so many rumors. About this wedding, or in particular, or just in general.
Honestly, about the wedding, we haven't really heard much other than it was happening, and we've been trying to figure stuff out on the road, but I wasn't having any luck. I don't know about my counterparts.
Well, apparently, you see he takes out another water skin that's definitely filled with liquor, and takes a long drink and just lets it coat himself. He does not care. Apparently, the groomsman is not only from Dugout Hill, but apparently is having to leave a potential partner behind for this excursion, this wedding. Typical arranged marriage nonsense, believe it or not.
Didn't I know about the groom because we're from the same place? I'm having a hard time remembering.
You,
And I didn't
But,
take notes. Knew
um,
about, not knew them.
yeah. He was a shut-in. Even though his family owned one of the largest, like, orchards of not just regular fruit, but also a couple of the trees similar to you guys. So, if your family was, like, upper middle class, they were, like, high, like, upper class. Sometimes in the same circles. Yeah, no.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah. Tumnus was a shut-in. And kind of a nerd. From what you heard.
Wait. I think I missed that the entire time. His name is Tumnus?
Yes.
Because he's a satyr.
No, he's a badger. Not in
He's a
there.
call-
Thank you. Thank you for understanding, Raven.
Yeah, no, it was a part of the joke. I literally made an animal character named. Y'all don't keep up.
I apparently forgot when this was introduced.
I understood all references made.
I'm just gonna copy and paste that right there, so y'all can get the names. Apparently he's leaving a lover behind, and they might be showing up to make a scene here if things don't go according to their plans. Just off the grapevine, though. I don't trust anything I don't see with my own eyes.
Sounds like the type of party that would definitely bring you along.
Oh, you act like I ruin every party I join. I am the party everywhere I go. You know this.
Well, I'm not saying you ruin it. I just say you enjoy the chaos.
If every harvest didn't have a few spiders, where would be the fun?
I hate that.
He said on a personal note, deleted.
And for about Miss Corey, the chiefess, you have to ask old Birdbrain.
Hiccup.
Corey.
Coming
Drunk
from
one?
fucking parts.
Cornwald, and he elbows the covered wagon, and the raven. Huh? What? Wait. Oh, are we there yet? No. What were you able to get for me about Chiefess Corey? The crow just long stare as they probably haven't been sober ever. After a bit of persuading and generous splashing of water from the two mice twins, turns out that Chiefess Corey wasn't the first one originally set up for this wedding. There was actually a trial that all of the chiefesses participated in, and she lost to get to this point.
So the loser had to marry the beaver, or the
Badger.
the badger.
badger. Let's start with the beef.
The Swinson.
If
I know that's not right, but
yeah, they're not really not exactly a match made in the most prettiest of courts, huh?
I mean, when you have the arranged marriages like this, it never seems to be, but this one seems even more destined for shit.
It seems even more arranged than usual.
If it
Like-
if it works out, more money in everyone's pockets because more trade. If it doesn't, who doesn't love a good war? More money in trades for people like us.
Man, you know my history.
More herbs out there for you to snag.
I hate war.
It's not exactly my favorite pastime either. I'm more of a woodworker.
Yeah, and I lost my parents in the first one.
He gently puts a hand on his shoulder and then lifts you up and puts you on his shoulder. And I told you this then, like I told you now. I'm sorry. We all lost people. We all did.
I don't have
Lost
people
everything.
to lose.
That's
Yeah.
what you're insane, and I'm fairly certain they wouldn't want to come after you anyway.
Damn.
Where do you think their love of fire came from? They were born from the ashes.
Damn.
Actually, was struck by lightning.
Was she now? I thought that was just... You gotta tell me that story.
That's how she went.
Other Bramblefoots just found me one day in a field full of ash.
We did not discuss the names of the other Bramblefoots, but would have Cinderwing remembered their names?
I mean, vaguely.
No.
They are the closest that Cinderwing has to family, so I think she would remember a version of their names.
Okay.
Not they're actually their names.
The one that would be the most radical slash anti like capitalist, rather prefer like the trade of goods that you would have gone along with, would have been a just off the top of my head, make sure I remember.
Once you say it, it's concrete.
I know. Would have been a rabbit. By the name of Andrew Xavier, but people called him Axe for short because he loved chopping down trees and hacking people with his axe.
It was the floppy one named Ass.
What?
You've stopped asking her questions. It doesn't ever end well. We keep her around because she's really, really useful. Also, I'm fairly certain if we lost track of her, the world would just burn.
These things fun as much as I try to stop her.
It's like
Don't
those
tell
two.
her that.
Which, for context to those not in the know, the bolt of lightning that struck Cinder burnt down the field that her family was in with them in it. And so she was found in a pile of her family's ashes by Axe.
Holy
Kratos?
Kinda, yeah.
And so, that's why she is the way she is, you fucks.
Also because her mother drank a lot when she was letting their eggs. But yeah, that's why.
Was your mom one of those fire breathers?
No, hold on. Mom was like so fucked up that when they decided to lay Cinderwing's egg, it was like in a bottle of moonshine. Infused.
Just a barrel of moonshine. They pickled her egg.
I was gonna say, are you saying that Cinderwing was partially pickled?
Yes.
Fetal alcohol syndrome for a bird!
No.
Tony, you're the bird guy. How did that work?
Badly.
I thought that's how you got Ramona. You found her just in a pickle jar.
That would explain some things.
You travel with the Brimblefoots for quite some time. The mice continuing their tunes. Sometimes they switch instruments. From the flute to a one of them pulls out a lute,
Recorder.
and the other one pulls out a hand drum, and they are just playing and keeping entertainment. People are offering a couple acorns and other tree nuts here and there, and they gladly take them and just put them into their own pouches. This is a very makeshift family, but also thieves. They make it work, and they seem to enjoy each other's company. And they love to seem to torture Jareth. As you can tell, he's the greenest one here. For sure. Which is the little stoat pushing the handcart.
Picking on as he's pushing the cart.
Yes, he is struggling.
So why is the pro riding?
To climb on top of this thing and just kind of like sit at on like the top of where the little pushy thingy would be. Just looking down like.
Do you mind?
Act.
No, I'm good.
He exasperated, tired stoat noises. He's maybe like 18, 19.
So around the
His
ages.
yeah. His coat.
Even more, I am absolutely tormenting this poor little boy.
His coat is still mostly white, as it hasn't changed back yet to the normal browns that they would get during the spring months. But travel continues. He is bright white. And I think we'll wrap up here as you guys finish another day of travel. And you guys will get to the wedding proper next time. And depending on how quickly you guys are able to figure things out or decide how to do things, it'll be the last episode. We'll have one more after that.
I mean, we don't do shit fast, so
Tis
We
true.
really don't.
Much to Tony's dismay.
what do you mean?
I'm playing. No, I'm just
What
talking
do you mean? As awake as they come.
I think we're.
Thank you, my friends, for participating in this little adventure we've got going on.
Thank you for having us.
Friend.
Thanks for dealing with us.
Oh,
Our
y'all
friend
are
Brett
now
was
meeting
amazing.
some of my characters from my books. Y'all are allowed to. Y'all are allowed to be a little chaotic because I return it.
Yay. But
We're all dying.
We're all faded at this point, I think. So good night, everyone. Tune in for the rest.
I haven't
of
had
the
any
worth of
alcohol.
stuff.
Good night. See us tomorrow
Good
for Dispatch
night.
for Queers.
Good
This
night.
Sunday we have a Wonderarium episode, I think.
We will have a Wonderarium this weekend. We are actually playing Love is on the Cards. It'll be a creator named Q and I are going to. Well, we're going to do a rom-com together.
Hell
Lovely.
yeah.
So it should be
And
a lot of
then
fun.
Sunday, we'll have Spawn Camp, where I guess we may be talking about Kingdom Hearts 4, and the new Spider Noir thing. Who knows?
Explain the lore of Kingdom Hearts to me slowly.
And
Okay,
as
let's-
we
Are
end
you
on this
locking
bad break-
in a Spawn Camp episode 5 days out? How fucking dare you?
I want to talk about Kingdom Hearts. I liked playing it. That being said, I have no idea how shit's gonna.
All right, so here's what we do. Improvise Spawn Camp episode right now. You and me, Blood. Let's go.
No.
I'm tired.
I'll send you the sin box.
Blood said, I mean, leave me alone.
Anyway, y'all have a great night, all right? I've got work tomorrow.